Welcome! Today we're making a classic homemade cranberry sauce, perfect for the holidays or anytime you want a tangy sweet addition to your meal. This recipe is really simple and only takes a few ingredients, but the flavor is amazing. Ready to get started? Let's dive in. Alright, let's get started with our cranberry sauce. First up, grab 12 ounces of fresh or frozen cranberries. These little berries will burst and give our sauce that signature tangy flavor. Next, we'll need 1 cup of sugar to balance out that tartness and add sweetness. Then pour in half a cup of water and half a cup of freshly squeezed orange juice. The orange juice adds a bright citrus note that pairs beautifully with the cranberries. Optional but highly recommended is some orange zest for an extra citrus punch, and maybe a cinnamon stick or ground cinnamon if you like a hint of spice. Finally, a touch of vanilla extract gives it a rich, cozy undertone. Let's mix it all up and start cooking. Let's start by getting all our ingredients ready. First, if you're using fresh cranberries, give them a good rinse and make sure to drain them well. You'll want about 12 ounces. For frozen cranberries, you can skip the rinsing, they go straight into the pot. Next, measure out 1 cup of sugar. Sugar will be the sweet base of our sauce, so it's important we have it ready. Now grab your liquids. You'll need half a cup of water and half a cup of freshly squeezed orange juice. You can use store-bought, but fresh juice will add a brighter flavor. Lastly, if you're adding orange zest, grab a microplane or grater and zest 1 orange. You can also set aside a cinnamon stick or ground cinnamon and a dash of vanilla extract for a nice twist at the end. Now that everything's prepped, we're ready to cook. Alright, let's grab a medium saucepan. We're going to combine all of our ingredients in here to start building the sauce. First, in go the cranberries. Then add the 1 cup of sugar. Now pour in that half a cup of water and the half a cup of orange juice. Give it a quick stir so the sugar starts dissolving a bit. Now if you're using orange zest, sprinkle that in for a boost of citrusy goodness. Don't forget, if you like a warm spice kick, add the cinnamon stick or ground cinnamon at this stage as well. This is also the time to add that vanilla extract if you're using it. It'll give a lovely deep flavor that complements the fruit. Everything's in the pot, so let's move on to cooking. Now that everything's combined, it's time to turn up the heat. Set your saucepan on the stove over medium heat. We're going to bring this mixture to a simmer. Stir occasionally to help the sugar fully dissolve into the liquid. As the mixture heats up, you'll start hearing some popping and sizzling. Those are the cranberries bursting open, which is exactly what we want. Once you see bubbles starting to break on the surface, reduce the heat slightly to medium-low. Keep it simmering for about 10 to 15 minutes. Stir every now and then to make sure the cranberries are breaking down evenly. You'll notice the sauce thickening as it cooks, and the cranberries will turn soft and jammy. Keep an eye on it, but let it cook down, it's getting flavorful. Now that the sauce has been simmering for 10 to 15 minutes, we're going to check the consistency. By now, most of the cranberries should have burst, and you should have a thick sauce. Give it a stir, and notice how much liquid is left. If you like a chunkier sauce, you can leave it as is, but if you prefer it smoother, take a spoon and gently mash the cranberries against the side of the pan. This helps to break them down further and thicken the sauce. If the sauce seems too thick, you can always stir in a little more water or orange juice to thin it out to your liking. Once it's at your preferred texture, it's ready to cool down. Let's remove it from the heat and let it sit. Now that our sauce has finished cooking, it's time to let it cool down. Take the saucepan off the heat and let it rest at room temperature. You'll notice the sauce thickens even more as it cools, so don't worry if it looks a bit loose right now. Once it's cooled down to room temperature, transfer the cranberry sauce to an airtight container. This sauce will keep in the refrigerator for up to a week, so you can easily make it ahead of time if you're preparing for a holiday meal or just want to have it on hand. When you're ready to serve, you can either use it cold or warm it up slightly. And that's it. You've got homemade cranberry sauce ready to go. And lastly, let me share a few quick tips to make it even better. First, if you taste your sauce and find it a bit too tart, don't worry. You can always stir in a little more sugar, just a tablespoon at a time, until it's perfectly balanced. Also, remember the sauce thickens as it cools, so if it turns out thicker than you like, just add a splash of water or orange juice to loosen it up. If you want to give your sauce an extra twist, try adding a pinch of nutmeg or cloves for some warmth, or even a splash of bourbon for a richer flavor. Cranberry sauce is super versatile, so don't be afraid to get creative. Enjoy your homemade cranberry sauce.